All right, guys. Welcome to the Sphons CCW Live Show, sponsored by, of course, Sphons CCW, Minerva Sportsmans Club, and this and that distribution.com. Got a bunch of stuff for you here tonight. Hopefully, we'll have a good show and not run into any technical difficulties. Of course, on the chat, if you have difficulties with the show, let us know and we'll see if we can get them fixed. What do we got? Upcoming classes. So, 18th of January, concealed carry class. Starts at 8 o'clock. Done by 5:30, 5:45 or so.
Something like that.
Right here, 113 North Market. I'm going to shoot hopefully inside. Got a nice heater going down there. 19th, pistol fundamentals. That's going to work on essentially accuracy, using your firearm in a defensive scenario, first shots on target, draw, a little bit of barrier work and a little bit of movement, not a ton. We're going to do that one indoor also. Then we got February 8th, another concealed carry class. Once again, starts at 8 o'clock. And then February 22nd and 23rd is going to be defensive pistol. That is a 2-day defensive pistol class. And that is going to cover everything that the fundamentals covered. Accuracy, first shots on target, multiple shots on target, draw, reholster, barriers, movement, sitting, standing, prone, supine, a bunch of different things in defensive pistol. It's a 2-day class. So that's what we got for classes coming up. If you want to get registered for a class, SphonsCCW.com, shootingclasses.com. You can also register, and we're currently working on a third partnership for that, and hopefully we'll have some more details by next week's show on what that's all about. So what did we go over last week? Holiday travel and shopping.
Yeah. Holiday, being aware of your surroundings and where you're going and how you're going to get out of there, and et cetera, parking lot scenarios, things like that. So.
Yeah. So what do we got this week for our shooting and training tip?
These are kind of put together as far as that goes. Training tip and carry tip all in one. You should be choosing your ammunition accordingly, and matching your accuracy from your target rounds with your carry rounds. Of course, we all know that when you're at the range, just practicing or training, you should be shooting full metal jackets or cast lead or whatever you like to shoot through your gun. But your training rounds and your carry rounds should make the same holes on your target when you're shooting them. So if your training rounds and your carry rounds are different, it's a good idea to change brands, change weights of bullets, different things to make those make the range rounds mimic the accuracy of your carry rounds. And we've seen all kinds of different scenarios where two people with the same model gun at the range and they shoot the same ammunition totally different. So, it's not just about brand, it's about that particular gun,
Yeah,
they can shoot completely.
All the guns have their own little personality to them. And,
yeah.
And you don't, last thing you want if you have to use it use your firearm in a defensive situation is to have a surprise of, oh wow, these don't hit anywhere near close to where I've been shooting this gun for the whole time I've owned it when I go to the range and do anything with it. And,
yeah, you can't miss fast enough.
Yeah, so, no, absolutely. So it's that's a really good one. Something a lot of people don't really think about is
and do your carry rounds hit where you've been shooting your range rounds, and if they don't, you need to start changing some stuff up, whether it be your carry rounds or your range rounds, so that they both hit in the same place. So if you need to use it, it's going to hit in the same place, and you're going to hit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, all that practice you've been doing on your fundamentals with your sight picture and all that stuff is just going to kind of go out the window if it's not
right.
if they're shooting,
You know.
a
Well,
foot
the
low
other
left.
the other thing is, the reliability. How many times do we see different styles of hollow points not want to feed
Yep.
in different guns, and they may be perfectly acceptable brands that are, kind of class leaders, I guess you would say, as far as defensive ammunition, and that particular gun and ammo combination doesn't
match,
jive. Yeah.
You know.
That kind of leads right into shooting enough of your said hollow point to it's a good way to verify that, hey, this thing is going to hit where I know it's going to hit, and B, I know this ammunition is going to work in my in my handgun, because it may or may not. You go buy a box of it and throw it in a magazine, and away you go. And
yeah, if it won't shoot a full magazine, then you need to do something else.
Yeah,
if you
especially
have
you look statistically at most defensive shootings happen so close, so fast that malfunctions, especially those, are just detrimental to everything.
Yeah. Before you can even deal with it, a lot of times it's all over.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah, especially in a defensive situation, you need the thing to work
right
first time, every time, and
exactly. I guess the big key is here, before, everybody's all about buying quantities on the internet and everything, and, buy 1,000 rounds here and 1,000 rounds there, or whatever, because it's cheap. It doesn't do you any good if it doesn't run. So buy a small amount of each and try them together, shoot, either load one carry round and one practice round in your magazine, and try them both at the same time in one magazine, or load a full magazine of each and see where they hit. Carry rounds are expensive, but the alternative isn't acceptable.
No.
Right.
So, but that's it. That's all we got for today for that training tip. And like you say, a lot of people don't even think about it. They just load their magazines with their carry rounds when they're done to range, and they have no idea whether they're going to be accurate or not. So you need to know. So
right. All right, so that moves us on to our defensive video, and this is got this one off the World Wide Web here tonight. We're going to get over here. This is, I do believe, News 24. It says out of Durbanville. Where actually Durbanville is, I don't know. I haven't really looked it up, but there's some stuff in here that's we kind of need to talk about with this, and go over. There's some good things that happen, and there's some bad things that happen. So we're going to get rid of our mugs here shortly, and or right now actually, and we're going to take a look at this. So it looks like, we're going to back this up a little bit here. It looks like, and the title of this video is "A Customer Stumbles Across an Armed Robbery." So let's give this a play. So, right, if you guys didn't notice here, we're going to back this up here shortly. This guy's there. He's slapping at him with a machete.
Woof.
Personally think the guy should have been up off the stool moving long before he took a swing at him with a machete, but then they go off camera, and looks like the closed caption here is the clerk, and you can see right there. We'll back this up here a little bit again. See if I can catch it. That guy just took a swipe at that clerk with that machete. the struggle ensues here for a little bit, and I don't know whether the clerk is trying to open the safe or what the thing is, but you can hear him pleading with the man. Right there, we're gonna go back here for a second. Right here, as you noticed, the clerk is down on the ground. The perpetrator here loses his hat and takes the time to readjust his hat and retrieve his hat. So, had the clerk been armed at that point in time, he would have had the ability to end this attack if needed. But the simple fact is this guy is looking for money. He's got the clerk back, looks like on the ground, or underneath of the cash drawer. And now the struggle ensues, and the guy's trying to get the knife from him. Here comes the customer, and they're fighting over the knife, and the customer's kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? And this is the part that I want to point out. This customer comes in. I'm going to back this up a little farther here. This customer comes in, he looks over, like, what's going on here? And this is got a couple of things going on here. One thing, it's, we go back to that fighter pilot thing, the OODA loop, the observe, decide, orient, and then react. But there's also this thing called your brain does. It's called force normalization, that he's trying to, kind of decide, is this an attack?
Am I really seeing this happen?
There's two guys fighting over a machete behind a counter at this convenience store. So you can see how long it takes him to actually get it, really. I mean, he's got to get, like, what is this actually happening? And before he moves into action. So he puts his stuff down. They're fighting over this knife. And then he's not made any type of plan. He picks up a potato chip rack. They're still fighting over a machete, and he whacks the guy with the potato chip rack. No room, no plan, no nothing. So now he's going after the dude with the potato chip rack. And it looks like the clerk has got the knife away from the guy. And he proceeds to grab a bag of something and
she's chasing him out the door with that knife, man.
Head out the door.
I'm sick of your shit.
So, I mean, that's kind of, I watched this a couple times now. This goes along with our holiday shopping and having a plan to defend yourself. There's just a ton going on here that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I mean,
Right.
first thing I can see is that the clerk he should have been moving
Way before he did.
moving sooner and gotten out, because he got himself, if he had moved a little bit sooner and
Got
got
out of that spot.
get out of that out from behind the counter.
Yeah.
Get out of that funnel. I mean, the guy's he's trapped in a like a
Right.
You can see probably at least 6 foot of it, probably 10-foot long counter that's this.
And he's
wide-
got
this
no
wide.
room to maneuver.
He's got nowhere to go. If he could have got out of the counter, away from the counter, he probably wouldn't have had to have fought the guy with the machete.
Right.
Behind the counter,
Behind
at
the
least.
counter, and at that point in time, when he decided to finally try and fight the guy with the machete, he probably could have avoided that. But
Yeah. Well, I guess the first thing I saw was, I agree with you. He should have been moving long before that and make that guy come to him. But in the meantime, as I'm going down that counter, I'm pushing shit off the other side, so he's got to walk on it to get to me.
Yeah.
It might give me some time to pick up my own potato chip rack.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
and had the guy been armed, he could have.
Yeah,
Had he been armed.
there was ample opportunity in that whole encounter to,
Yeah, and that's
Him being armed with a pistol probably would have stopped that right there at the
right at the
cash
counter,
register.
absolutely to the
Yeah.
counter.
sorry, dude,
No.
you bought a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
not today, buddy.
But the couple things I noticed is that there's not enough room behind the counter. There's only one exit.
yeah.
he didn't try and go over the counter when the perpetrator came around the end of the counter.
Mhm.
He had zero. It is obvious the man in that was the clerk in that store had thought about a robbery or defending himself. Never.
No,
I mean,
no,
he had never considered.
he got to the point where, like, I mean,
Yeah.
it was almost like that guy, like he forced him into it. Like, it never occurred to him until like the very last minute of, man, I gotta fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and the first part about it, he was just waiting pretty much to get killed.
Yeah. He just kept
He was
saying,
just kind of waiting there for the guy to
Right.
"Have him with a machete." So
Yeah.
you know, you got to have that mentality that you're going to fight and not give up. You got to have a plan in place, even if it's a crappy plan. You have something. You know, go over the counter and out the door, and then call the police.
Yeah.
I mean, it's potato chips and pop and beer, for Pete's sake. It's just a convenience store. Give the guy whatever he wants, but you know, that's, you know, kind of a
I think it's
half-ass plan, but
it's always, from what we came in, he was by the front there of the counter, and I agree, he should have been moving and give up that spot behind the counter where the money is. That's what the guy wants.
Yeah. And then you got the customer that walks in and kind of he's literally befuddled by what's going on in front of him.
Exactly.
And you know, he's trying to decipher that, and that loop is going, is this really happening? And then he sets something down, and
he sets stuff down and then puts his money in his mouth.
Yeah,
like, and putting something in his mouth.
And then he comes over and he's looking around for something to whack the guy with, and he picks up a rack off the counter, which it doesn't look like it did a whole heck of a lot of damage. I mean, it you know, distracted the guy for enough time to get for the clerk to get the knife away from him. But you know, right there, personally, I'd have picked up a glass bottle and conked him with it. But still, that's
sure.
You know, we get to armchair quarterback this, and they're right in the heat of it. But the whole thing just doesn't make any sense. You got to have a plan.
Well, and as soon as that guy started swinging that potato chip rack at him, hitting him with it, you know, it didn't look like it was hurting him.
No.
But the thing is, those guys don't want to get hurt.
No.
They want to hurt you.
No, as soon as they really started to fight, somebody else started
we don't want to fight back.
He kind of give up what he was.
Yeah.
Ended up running off with a bag of popcorn or something.
Yeah, but well, the other thing is though, he already cleaned. Looked like he already cleaned the register
out.
That was just another, you know, something to grab on the way out. I don't know if he's using a bag of potato chips to fight back or what he was, but just a mess. And we got to learn from this kind of stuff, because this is the kind of stuff that we get to see afterwards. You know, it just goes right along with everything we've been saying. Have a plan.
It goes right back into, especially last week, watching your surroundings and paying attention.
Situational awareness.
The other thing that I noticed about this video was the door was wide open.
Yeah.
Like, there was no door. There's no physical barrier there that alerted you that somebody had come in or out. And maybe the clerk never even saw the guy come in. You don't know. But,
yeah.
You know, wrestling a guy with a machete is a surefire way to
get cut by a machete.
Now, this particular guy it didn't happen. It doesn't look like, but we don't know. Maybe he might have spent 3 nights in an emergency room with 7 or 10 slashes on him from getting whacked with that thing. But
exactly.
You know, so take it for what it is. You know, don't get stuck in that situation. That's
they call that terrible. Tactical retreat, moving so that you're not in danger.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's going to bring us out with some news, and we got some neat stuff as far as news goes on here. Bring up the same website here and move on. We get rid of our mugs here real quick. If you're from the Minerva area, CantonRep.com. A Minerva woman was accused of wielding a screwdriver in an attack on a man. Trying to find a date.
I just
on
saw
this.
that in the newspaper today.
Yeah.
December 23rd.
Yep. 1223, it looks like. Woman who went to prison for assaulting her children's father and later went back to jail for domestic violence is back behind bars, accused of trying to stab a man with a screwdriver. Apparently, this woman was on parole after serving time for assaulting a man, was back behind bars Monday, accused of trying to use a 9-inch screwdriver to stab another man. She was arrested at 1 p.m. Sunday in the 100 block of Perry Court on warrants charging her with felonious assault and domestic violence. Having been released from prison after serving time for aggravated assault, Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections records show, the Stark County Jail records show that charges been reduced from felony domestic violence. She had been accused of attacking her children's father at a bar. Jail records show she went back to jail in October after she was convicted of domestic violence involving another man. And then November 23rd, she was accused of kicking the same man in the face at the home they share, striking his neck and trying to stab him under his left arm with a screwdriver. She's behind bars in lieu of a $100,000 bond. So what do we got on this one? Stay away from the crazies. I don't know if this is all the same guy, but golly.
It might be.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to try and reassess this webpage here.
She's on parole. If she's on parole anyway, she's not supposed to be in a bar.
Well, I wouldn't think so.
You know?
But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, oh, man.
What do I want to do here? I want to try and stretch this out for you guys so I don't have to keep moving this screen around. I'm going to put this over here. That's going to work a little better, I think. In the next news thing we got, this one's actually pretty cool for all you guys that are hunters and or hikers and or just outdoor type people, preppers, whatever. Nat Geo launched a free website for printing detailed topographical maps. When I saw this, I thought, my gosh, it took them long enough, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
I like my Topo Maps, and I know there's a lot of other people that do too, but the problem was they were just so friggin' expensive to get.
Yeah, man.
And
I've actually got this entire area printed and laminated in topographical maps from Nat Geo's web, from Nat Geo.
Yeah.
So
I would like to have them. I'd like to save them to a flash drive and take them down to a print shop and see what it would cost to get them printed on something
something
bigger,
decent size,
and maybe even something like our vinyl banner to find out.
Yeah.
Because at 8.5 by 11, everything's a little bit small. It
Right.
works, but no, those are awesome maps.
Yeah. So anyway, we got this from Petapixel, and it has got a link to the National Geographic website where you can get those maps. Once again, guys, all of the news articles are linked in the description of either the YouTube or Facebook video, so you can head right on there. You click on the link in the description, and away you go. And Nate's going to fall down on the way out here. So, yeah, Topo Maps that are printable, that's pretty cool. And I figured everybody would want something to do with that. What else have we got here? 2 robberies in Cleveland. A restaurant owner goes cashless for safety's sake. Gotta say hi to Dean, Jason Stewart, and Bob Wiseman on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, so as soon as I get to something that I can comment on here, we'll get some comments going. You almost had an emergency there.
Yeah.
So anyway, 2 robberies. A Cleveland restaurant owner goes cashless for safety's sake. I read this article. I really didn't want to because I kind of figured what the idea was behind it. Yeah. maybe buy some security cameras or get an armed guard or something, Mac. But this restaurant owner said it's time to go cashless because lives depend on it. Now, in today's economy, I guess, in our store, I guess probably 25%, 30% would probably be cash.
Yeah, probably something like that.
I think we're in a little different industry than a restaurant owner because most people would rather pay cash than have, any type of firearm or ammunition show up on their credit card statement, especially with all of the political garbage that's been going on with the, banks and whatnot. So I would imagine a restaurant owner would probably not really need a whole lot of cash in this day and age. I don't know. We don't own a restaurant. So, but if you read down through this article, this guy says about half of his sales are cashless in 2017. I guess a gunman attacked him and then left him thinking his life was over. Well, we all know that the best way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. So, I don't know. This guy is Akin Afika, if I'm pronouncing that right. So, Mr. Akin, if you would like to come down and take some training, if you hear about this show, see it, anything like that, you give us a call, 740-422-9482, and we will make it so you don't have to put up with us no more. We got this news article from News 5 Cleveland, by the way, if you want to check it out. Then at another one of his restaurants in Shaker Square 2 years ago, it was an attempted robbery at the restaurant. He was shot twice. So this dude's had a pretty tough road. He said he shot at me 3 times and left me for dead. He came back for money. It was an ex-employee who done that. I guess the ex-employee worked for us about 2 weeks, and he was a convicted felon that we hired to give a second shot at life. So, well, good job. Everybody deserves a second shot, but not when they're shooting at you. You don't want to give them a second shot when they're actually shooting at you, I'll tell you that. Gunman shot Africa in his right leg. The shooting bound him to a wheelchair for more than a year. Africa can walk again, but a reminder of the 2017 shooting follows him. And this goes on to kind of tell his story about that. Now, what he's done is he has picked up the Google Pay, Android Pay, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, credit, debit cards, and Cash App will be the accepted forms of payment. And he's also opening a new location at 78th and Carnegie Avenue. Each to their own, but I don't think this is going to stop attempted robbery attempts. The people that are robbing this particular stores,
they have no idea.
Yeah, they don't know that
have no
you
idea.
don't have cash on hand.
Nope.
Unless you put massive signs out front that says you don't have any cash.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably going to be detrimental to his business to begin with, because if I'm a potential customer and I walk up to your door and it says, please don't rob me because we don't have any money, I'm going to think twice about walking into that. We're in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah.
Let's.
This place been robbed a bunch of times before. I'm not going to stay around.
If it's the only place
You gotta
open,
put up a gun-free zone sign.
it's going to do about as much good, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, anybody knows this guy, send him on down. We will help him resolve his issue.
Yep.
I'm going to find my mouse here. All right. We were asked about Virginia last week. We got to talk about it a little bit. Best thing we could come up with was shit show.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit more about Virginia this week. This news article from Law Enforcement Today says, stop reporting on Virginia militia or your editors will be charged as felons.
Isn't that kind of against the
First Amendment?
First Amendment?
Well, guess what, guys? You take the second, and then they're coming for the first.
Yep, there you go.
So we got a guy here, Mr. Jason Stewart he was sent over here from Budget Guns and Gear. Budget Guns and Gear does a live show at 11 p.m. on Friday nights.
He'll be commenting on this.
I would hope so. I'm going to try and make it to that show tonight if I can stay up late enough. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I'm sure he's got an opinion on it, and his opinion is probably going to be really colorful. So we're going to let him know. So anyway, this says, we've never been ones to listen to internet trolls, and this particular situation is no exception. Over the past week, we haven't been afraid to report about the rising numbers of men and women across the country who say they're joining the militia. It's no longer a veiled threat. It's reality. The numbers have exploded thanks to what's happening in Virginia. More on that in a moment. But first, this message came in on Wednesday. Your reporting about the growing numbers in the militia create a clear and present threat to America. As part of Congress, I am giving you fair warning that this is the equivalent of shouting fire in a movie theater. If your reporting incites violence or can even be tied to it, we will make sure to charge your editors with felonies, wrote the person. Well, guess what?
You just threw gasoline on the fire.
Well, yeah, on top of that. But if you go down a line or two, it says, it's worth pointing out the message came in anonymously. So we're pretty confident it wasn't exactly a sitting congressman.
Somebody who was too...
yeah.
So, yeah, this is internet trolls trying to get something going and stir the pot a little farther. And it's just not good. These politicians need to back off on their hatred of the Second Amendment and the first. We could go on with this for weeks,
weeks.
The internet troll responsible for this is causing
more issues.
He's causing more issues than he's helping. This particular media outlet, Law Enforcement Daily, is allowed to write a news article about anything that they want to. And, we get mad at fake news and stuff like that, but, they're literally allowed to write fake news if they want to. And
they're reporting on something that is actually happening.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I haven't read all their articles about the militia movement behind that to see if they're truthful or not, but I would imagine that it's got at least some portion.
There's a lot of articles out there about
a lot of
this.
The militia movement, anyway.
Yeah,
there is.
And that's not just in Virginia.
No, there's a ton of militia movement going on all across the country over this spectacle in Virginia, to put it lightly.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good word for a shit show.
Yeah, right. So, kind of back in our lane, we got this thing, a very scary thing for me. Some black gun owners worried about stand your ground. Now, before we even get into this, it has been proven time and time again, and if you want to do an internet search and look it up, that stand your ground overwhelmingly favors the minority community. And it doesn't really matter what color you are, and you could be a minority by being poor, but it overwhelmingly favors the minority community, especially the poor, because they live in the worst neighborhoods. So if you don't know what stand your ground is simply the removal of your legal duty to retreat before using force to defend yourself in a public area. We already have that in Ohio when it comes to your house. It's called Castle Doctrine. So just so that you know what the difference is. And this article goes on to give us a bunch of trash here. And there's really no good points in it. But you guys need to check it out just to get an idea of how things can be twisted. This says, generally speaking, stand your ground allows individuals to use deadly force to defend themselves without first attempting to retreat. That is a half-truth. It will allow you to use deadly force to defend yourself if your life is in danger before retreating. So they left out a really key point there.
Yeah.
If your life is in danger.
Yeah, let's roll and report half of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And then this guy, this Ware guy, I guess he's some kind of a trainer here somewhere. Let's see if we can find him. Anyway, this Ware guy here says he's not sure how they'll teach it in classes when it comes to concealed carry classes. Well, Mr. Ware, if you'd like to take an instructor class, then 740-422-9482, and we will educate you on how to teach this in a concealed carry class. It is not that difficult.
No, do it every time.
So the stupid is running rampant in the news this week. So, and then it goes on to mention Mr. Chris Dorr, the director of Ohio Gun Owners, encouraged State Rep Candace Keller to reintroduce the bill to the state legislature. Similar self-defense legislation was proposed last year, but the duty to retreat clause was eliminated. And it's been this month that using force in defense of yourself outside of your home has been changed to essentially make the prosecutor prove you guilty rather than you having to prove yourself innocent, which is a big legal hurdle. Be honest with you, I'd rather see a little bit more done in this area, but that gets into a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo that we really can't get into in the show. So anyway, we kind of wanted to bring this in light because the Stand Your Ground bill has been reintroduced. I don't have the text of the bill. I definitely will read it. I do believe the text in the last bill was stripped with a bunch of other text because it didn't quite make sense. The guy who wrote it wasn't quite legally educated enough to make it of sound legal precedence when he wrote it. So they stripped it out of there. And I'm not saying that there wasn't some political give and take that had happened throughout that process, but this hopefully this next one will get a little better. All right. Woman on her way home from dialysis is carjacked by two men in Maple Heights, police say. And this is actually caught on camera. We're going to see if we can get this to play. And we got this from fox8.com. Once again, the description has got a link.
Hi, it's Casey for the Calvetta Brothers 4 Show. Every day, when you shop at any Calvetta Brothers 4 show, a portion of the proceeds goes to help the Cleveland APL. So,
And of course,
it's
we
time
have
to
to
fall
play
in
a
love
commercial
with this little guy. And of course, you're home.
Surveillance cameras were rolling outside the Magic Beauty Supply store on Libby and Lee Road in Maple Heights Thursday afternoon.
This is how things was going to go yesterday. I had dialysis.
44-year-old Ann Thompson of Garfield Heights had just left kidney dialysis and decided to stop at the beauty store on her way home.
I got my money and stuff together, like, okay, let me see. And I see the two guys standing there looking at me.
Video shows the two males wait for her to get out of the car. Then one of them attacks her.
Okay.
Why did you get out?
So,
Yeah.
what did we go over earlier with the self-defense video? Situational awareness. She just said, I seen the two guys there. Well, once again, we don't want to get into this victim blaming thing because she is definitely the victim, but stay in the car. Put the thing in reverse. Are your hair care products worth either getting mugged, stabbed, beat, robbed,
Carjacked.
worse, carjacked?
Yeah.
Use your head.
Yeah.
Get out of there. The rest of the article is really irrelevant. I wanted to show you that beginning part of the video. And if you notice this guy right here, he full on wallops her side to head.
Yeah.
this woman didn't deserve that. She did nothing wrong. She was going into the beauty shop to buy hair care products. And this piece of trash come out and walloped her side to head while his buddy looked onward. So once again, we need to learn for this kind of stuff. Don't get out of the car. You get that sixth sense going, just leave it and come back later. 5 minutes would have made an entire difference on this. So, anything on that one?
Yeah, that's all you could say. Why did you get out of the car?
Why did you get out of the car? So, anyway.
Yeah.
Another one we got going on here is our favorite, and we got this from the Truth About Guns. You can check out the Truth About Guns. Our favorite alphabet-style government agency has decided to tell FOSTEC that original SBV shotguns are now short-barreled shotguns and subject to the NFA. And this article will go on to tell you how to destroy it if you own them, or how to get a refund and send it back to FOSTEC. In this article is the letter from the ATF, and there's also how to destroy the receiver, and the letter from FOSTEC on how to get a refund and send it back to them if you so choose. But if you have one of these FOSTEC SBVs, if you do not have a tax stamp for it, which I don't think anybody would have applied for, because
Probably not.
they were told they didn't need to,
Right.
send it back to FOSTEC or destroy it before you get in trouble. It's better to lose the money on the gun and then fight the ATF later through the legal system and get that money back than it is to try and fight the ATF while you're in jail. So that's what we need to do on that one. We got another one here.
Yeah, another one.
Yep. Franklin Armory Reformation. This one again is from the Truth About Guns. The Franklin Armory Reformation, which is essentially a straight fluted gun. They don't consider it a rifle or a shotgun. Once again, our favorite alphabet agency has decreed that the Reformation with its straight grooves is something called a GCA SBS, a short-barreled shotgun regulated under the Gun Control Act rather than the National Firearms Act. And this is a convoluted, complicated piece of garbage that come out over this gun. So I don't know what the ATF's decided, but if you have one of these, you're going to need to go check this article out, because there's some restrictions on like where you can take it and how you can transport it and stuff like that. So you're going to have to do some research on it. Anyway, I don't know anybody that's got one of these, but if you do have one, make sure you know the legalities behind it and what you're going to do with it.
Yeah. End up catching a felony for
something stupid.
taking it to go show your buddies,
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
Anyway.
somebody's telling me we got an echo going on here, so I'm trying to find it. I don't think that there's anything I can do about that particular echo, but we'll keep going here. All right, so new products. We got some new products. Actually, we got to do the product of the week first.
Product of the week. We gotta do this. Okay, we said we were gonna do the tactical Tomahawk stocking. Here we go. Unzip it. Here comes the Tomahawk. Here we go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That is a full-size Tomahawk,
That's
not a
full-size
compact.
Tomahawk. This is full-size Tomahawk. Full-size Tomahawk sock. Right in there.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
So now,
Zip her up.
like we said last week, now there's an actual holster for your Tomahawk.
Yep. There you go. Comes with
Molly,
Velcro, hooks, everything.
Look. There's even a spot to hold the sharpener.
Yep. There you go.
There we go.
Nice honing stone in there.
Yeah.
Away you go.
There you go. Yep.
So if you're in the habit of carrying a Tomahawk for self-defense,
Not normally, but
there is a way that you can, do
holster
that. It's got Molly. It's got a handle.
Right.
I don't think.
Probably fits. It's probably multi-fit, so you can use your own Tomahawk if you have one. And
Oh yeah, multiple brands of
Universal.
Tomahawk. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Universal fit. So for $8, can't go wrong.
Yeah, right. I think Nate's got some more something or others for us
I
here.
got some more products of the week here. We're gonna go over the Amend 2 magazines. Great magazines. We've been using these for quite a while now. Right here we got AR magazines here. One thing I'd like to point out is made in the USA. Parts and craftsmanship. They're, as far as ARs go, they're excellent magazines. They got a no-tilt follower in them. Heavy duty. They got, the plastic housings, like everybody's used to that these day and age, and relatively inexpensive. I think they're $10. $10 for a magazine.
10 or $11.
10, $11 for a AR magazine. That one was the
That's 30, isn't it?
30 rounds flat dark earth.
Yeah, they come in 30, 20, and 10.
We got 30 round black and 30 round gray. So if you're into
We come in OD green too.
yeah, you can get
We're
them in
just
OD
out of
green.
OD green.
So if you want to color match your AR, that's kind of a neat thing. You can do that. Like you said, they got 10 rounders. He's got the 10
Yeah, I
rounder
got the
there.
10. I actually prefer the 20 round magazines. I run the 20
We've got the
round.
nice 20 round magazines. A whole line of them. They're even starting to branch out into getting real big into the Glock. Glock 19, 17, Glock 43. We're not really Glock guys, but of the Glock guys that we know that have been running these, they've all said that they've
real happy with them.
Performed flawlessly,
Yeah.
and they've all worked out really good. Like I said, we've run a lot of the Amend 2 AR magazines, and
They've been 100% for me.
they've been 100% for me. I've had no malfunctions, no issues. They haven't come apart, nothing like that.
Actually, down on our Facebook
Drop
page
them
a
on the
little
ground.
farther, they did somebody did a torture test of all the magazines that were out there, and these won.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean
they
they're sturdy
outperformed the
magazines.
PMag.
They got they got real good heavy duty followers in them. It's actually a solid follower. So,
Yeah.
And they don't. I mean, they do not tilt whatsoever.
Yeah, that video, they shot the crap out of it with a shotgun and ARs and everything.
Just like any other, most of your standard newer style mags, you get a little button in the back. It's in the shape of a 2 for, Amend 2.
Yeah.
Push that down, pop
Well,
the
they got their
floor plate
name.
off.
They got their name. Second Amendment. So that's how they got their name. Amend 2. So
You push that down, pop it off, clean them out, do your normal mag maintenance that you do. Come on in and check them out. They're a great magazine. They're worth every penny. So
yeah, I actually gave away all my Magpul. That's all I got. Is the Amend 2s now. Because I like the grip surface better.
Yeah,
on
they
the
got a
Amend 2s.
nice textured grip on them. They're top notch for a magazine.
Yeah.
the only complaint I got, nobody makes good quality 20 round magazine holders.
Yeah.
Maybe I call these guys and say, hey, can you make me a magazine holder for high speed gear? Just make it a 1/4 inch shorter. It's just 1/4 inch. That's all I want. I like to run the 20s. So, all right, product of the week. Amend 2 mags. Check them out. We got some new products that are pretty cool. I actually got a web page here. If I can get it pulled up. we're getting rid of our mugs here. And we'll check these out. Henry, a while back, released the side gate loading lever action. And they released it in 30-30 Winchester, 38-55, and 35 Rem. Well, now they have a 45-70. So us guys in Ohio, if we want to hunt with our Henry, we can do so. If we want a side gate, of course, Henry quality, just awesome. I've shot some Henry 45-70s. I haven't shot a side gate, but I guarantee you it's going to be just as good. The cool part about the Henry side gate is you can load it from the side gate, but they left the magazine loading tube in the end. So if you want to unload it like that, or you prefer loading it with the tube style function, the removable magazine tube spring, then you can do that.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
It is.
I can't wait till they come out with these in the pistol calibers.
Absolutely.
Magnum. Oh man, they're
right.
I'll have to own one.
Yeah.
Another one by Henry, the lever action axe. This is looks like almost like a 410 lever action shockwave idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's side gate loading, which means, what tells me is they have built a steel receiver with a side gate on it, so that maybe one of these days I will get a 357 Magnum steel with a side gate on it, which I would love to have.
Well, on the other one, I actually noticed something on that, the 45-70 and everything, that was the Single Action Shooting Society approved. So any of you guys doing cowboy action shooting or anything like that, it looks like that's going to be an approved gun for that. So
yeah. So that's kind of pretty cool.
Kind of a cool thing. You know, them guys do some. Some of them guys do some pretty high speed stuff for
you got that
being
right.
Single action cowboy gun. So you might be able to get a little faster reload there.
I think Henry has kind of heard the word that they released this side gate. It sold well. They added a caliber, and I think it's going to continue to sell well. And it's a customer demand thing, so I think it's going to get moved into a lot of different calibers and
all their
configurations and different things like that. I think you're going to be able to get a side gate in a lot of different things. They're a little more money, but
they're just beautiful rifles. I mean, just absolutely beautiful rifles. You know, they're brass is just beautiful rifles. They're steel guns.
Awesome.
Awesome. We've got some friends that have hunted with them. Corey lost his to his kid.
Yeah, because his kid shot 2 deer with it. I wonder if you can chamber this in 350 Legend. I wonder if they're going to come out with a 350 Legend.
Oh,
that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, anyway. Another one from SIG. The 277 Fury. If you guys haven't heard about this thing. It shoves a 140 grain bullet 3,000 feet a second out of a 16-inch barrel, according to the specifications that are pre-release. It is a hybrid stainless steel and brass case because it runs a lot higher pressure. So we'll be waiting patiently to see if these are going to hit the shelves. Along with this, they have developed the SIG Cross, which is looks like a chassis style bolt action precision rifle. I'm not a huge fan of the chassis precision rifles, but there's a lot of people who are. So being a SIG product, I'm sure it's going to work pretty well.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll work well. It'll work just fine.
Yeah.
The quality of a SIG is just not questioned at all.
You notice there's a SIG
SIG electro-optics.
You
sitting on top of the
they got their SIG ammo on a SIG gun with a SIG optics.
You don't think you're going to put a vortex or something on a SIG gun when they make just as good as stuff.
I wonder if they make the bipod too. But in any event.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool bipod.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool bipod.
Be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see the cartridge. I'm curious to look at it when it. starts getting, if it gains any popularity and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't
Real
know.
interesting to
It's,
see it.
it would be nice to know a lot of things about that particular cartridge. My concern with that particular cartridge is recoil.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's gonna 3,000 feet a second, 140 grain bullet, super high pressure. I'm sure it's gonna hit pretty hard.
The thing is,
I'm curious about reloading the cases.
Yeah, right.
Like with the stainless and the brass, how's that going to work out? Is the press going to want to wad it up at the bottom because of the difference in materials, or what? That's going to be curious, you know.
Yeah, that's going to be different.
What I can tell you is we've shoved a 150 grain bullet out of a 308, 3,000 feet a second in a 24-inch barrel. And a scooch faster, and it will belt you.
Oh yeah, it'll wallop you pretty hard.
Well, we shoved a 165 grain bullet 3,000 feet a second out of that gun, but that's neither here nor there. Don't attempt it unless you're a very experienced reloader, because you'll probably eat the bolt in the face. But yeah, it was pretty stiff recoil out of either one of them. So
that that gun you got some weight to its chassis too, and it still just hammered you hard. So I could only imagine trying to shoot that in a 6-pound rifle.
Yeah, and they didn't give the rifle weight specifications on there either. So
yeah, I think that's the only time I've ever been shooting with you guys where Nate said, "No, I'm done. I'm good."
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that one was a little much. We backed her off since then. So, all right. Well, new products are done. That's what we got for you guys tonight.
Yep.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. If you have suggestions, obviously send us an email, SphonsCCW@gmail.com. Something you want to see on the show, you got a video, let us know. We will tear through it. If you got shooting events, especially from the local clubs and whatnot, email them to us, comment on the Facebook page, send us a message, something like that. Just let us know, and we'll put them on the show. And hope to see you guys next week. And everybody have a safe and happy New Year.
Yep. Hope everybody had a good Christmas.
Yeah. Yep. Merry Christmas to everybody. And thanks for joining us, guys.